today I just want to do a short video to show you a little bit about how to live in alignment with the things that you want so that you can actually get the results that you want. If there's, anything in your life that you're wanting that you don't have, the reason is always because we're not living in alignment with that. And I'll show you what I mean. The tool that I want to show you today, I have shown you before in a couple of different ways. So this is just a little bit of a different way of looking at the same thing. And I'm going to refer to this as so think about it like a compass, like a life compass, okay? And I know those are usually circular, but this one's going to be a triangle. And so that point, if you think of the point of this triangle, sort of like an arrow pointing you where you want to go, if that arrow is not in alignment with the things that you really want in your life, that's why we don't get our results. And so I'm going to use a super simple, tangible example of this as it relates to weight loss. So let's say, your circumstance is that you weigh 180 pounds. I'm not going to put anything down here that's opinionated, like I'm overweight or underweight, because this can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But the circumstance is supposed to be something that's measurable, factual, how much money's in your bank account, how much the scale says, what's like a number. So we're going to say 180 pounds is our circumstance. And let's say you want a result of weight loss. And when you go on a diet, there's multiple different options or results that you could end up with, right? So you could end up with losing weight, which would maybe be the goal. You could, instead of losing weight, you could gain weight, which is definitely not the goal. Sometimes this happens, right? Or let's say you could stay the same. Now there's really more results that we could put up here, but I don't want to overcomplicate it. We'll just leave it simple, right? So this is where you are, and this is where you want to be. What are the key factors that make that difference? What is it that we need to know about going from where we are to where we want to be? Because if for any reason that's not happening, say you're keep ending up in these dysfunctional relationships, we talked about that a little bit last time, or you have cycles of gaining weight and then losing weight and then gaining it back, and everything's just a roller coaster. That could be the same with your job situation. You can get a good job, but you can't hold it down. Same with money. Maybe I can make a lot of money, but then I spend it. So there's so many different ways that we can apply this same material, but we notice patterns sometimes in our lives, right? So in order to figure out why it is that we keep repeating the same patterns, we need to kind of understand this tool. And so I'm going to show it to you this way today. So imagine this triangle. If you think of yourself as an entity, your identity, I'm going to put a little person in here. Okay. This is your identity triangle, and it's also your compass, right, for life and for where you end up, the direction that you go, and the results that you get. It's all tied up together with identity, authenticity, resiliency. We talk about these big ideas, right? But how does it apply to this? Well, when you have a circumstance and you want to get a different result in whatever situation, there's three components that impact where you end up. Whether or not you get the result you want, whether or not you continue with the same cycles or same patterns. And the first component, the foundation of this is, if you remember from last time, our thoughts, okay? The second component that's so important is our emotions. And this is something that, especially in our culture, I mean, I work in the medical field, so paramedics, fire, police, EMS, but there's tons of other professions also in our culture today that really shame emotions, right? And you get, oh, she's so emo or he's so emo. And we feel like we really have to not show too much emotion. We don't want to be seen as overly emotional. And so there's so many women, especially that I see, that just have these walls up and they're so stiff and strong and all this stuff. But it's like, gosh, the thing about our emotions is literally is the driving force behind our life. And so until we learn to really understand those emotions and cultivate the ones that we want, that is the whole, those are the levers for getting what you want in the world. And so the more that we stifle these, the less capacity we're going to have for achieving big things, whether that's in money, relationship, career, physical fitness, anything. The third component is behavior. Okay. And so many people just want to focus on behaviors. What do I need to do to lose the weight? What do I need to do to save my marriage? What do I need to do to get a better job, get a promotion, make the money? And we so focus on these behaviors, but these two components, it really comes around full circle. All of these matter. And so I think this is a big part of the reason why so many people get stuck in these mental and emotional ruts, because they don't understand how this works. It's a trifecta. Okay. So this is where you are and this is where you want to go. And say, so let's just give this as an example. So the thought that you're thinking, let's say you have gone on so, many diets, you've tried for years to lose this weight, you still seem to just be stuck right here. And you're gonna, maybe you've been considering trying again, maybe this new keto thing will work. And you have this really persistent thought that pops up, that your belief system is, I'm never going to lose this weight. Like, that's your fear, right? You're just and that's what is going through your mind as you approach this goal. I'm never going to lose this weight. I'm never going to have my body back the way it was before kids. This isn't working. Nothing works. There's many examples of thoughts that you could have, but let's take the one of, I'm never going to lose this weight. Say that's the thought you're thinking. How does that make you feel? How does that thought, what is the emotion that produces? It might be a little bit different for everybody. But let's say you feel defeated when you think that thought. Feel defeated. How do you act? What are the behaviors that you exhibit when you feel defeated? How likely are you to get up and go to the gym or go for a run or make the kale salad? A lot likely. When you're feeling defeated and that's the place that you're coming from, that's what's driving everything, that's when you're likely to overeat. For me, or when I'm on my way home and I'm just like, this isn't working anyway, that's when I swing through Burger King or whatever it might be for you. I don't know. Anyway, and so the point is, just to keep this really simple for today, you have a thought like, I'm never going to lose the weight. Negative thought, could be multiple options. Negative emotion, I feel defeated. Negative result, I end up overeating. I can't, just go get a bowl of ice cream or whatever. And then the result that produces in your life, so that, where does this drive that arrow, if you will, you end up maybe gaining weight, or certainly not losing it, staying the same, whatever. And so in order to get a different result, if you want to move, let's say, the magnetism of this compass over here to a different result, you have to change the charge. So let's say, if you're thinking of this like a magnet, inside we have positive charges and we have negative charges, right? So let's say, there's, you positive thing, might be that, I keep trying, I haven't given up yet. There might be some resiliency there in that sense, or some persistence. There's good things. And then there's all these, negative things too. So maybe you've got some old trauma wounds. Maybe you've got, some habits that are really deeply ingrained, smoking, or, whatever it might be. And in order to change the charge of this whole compass and to move it more in alignment with what it is that you want out of your life, we have to go in and find these negative things, say these negative belief systems about, I'll never lose the weight. That needs to change to something more positive, right? Maybe that thought could be, instead, I'm working on it, or I've learned 10 things that didn't work, or I know that it's possible for me to lose the weight. Sometimes just knowing that something is possible, that other people have done it, maybe I just haven't figured it out yet. Maybe I need to go in and do some work on this emotion, on some emotional pain that I have that needs healing, that needs processed and cleansed. Maybe I've got some anger or some resentment that's creating behavior patterns. Maybe I've got some toxic relationships in my life, We often talk about, does this person have an eating disorder or a love disorder, right? Maybe there's some things that we need to look into there. But either way, if we go in and we can change some of these negative charges in our little identity triangle here that make up who we are, what we believe, what we want, how we feel, and then therefore the behaviors that we exhibit as a result of that, changing this charge can totally change the direction of this compass, right? So the biggest thing is just to realize that if there's a result that you want in your life, whether it's money, relationship, career, body, anything with your body, there's something that's not in alignment here. And so in order to get from here to here, you have to choose the correct thoughts that are in alignment with that goal. You have to choose the correct emotions that are actually going to serve you and be in alignment with that goal. And then that is when the how and the doing and the behaviors fall into alignment for you to be able to achieve it. Okay, that's really all I have for you today. I just kind of wanted to show you that in a little bit of a different way and see if that kind of helps make a little bit more sense to you. When we get together on Sunday, we're going to talk about the event that we have on Sunday. We're going to talk about how this applies to relationships and intimacy. And so if we put intimacy up here as the goal, you know, there's so many people that struggle in this area of love and intimacy. And a lot of that has to do with our fear of, you know, emotional attachment, with all the thoughts that we have because of the experiences we've had in the past, things that have gone wrong, things that we believe because of what our church, our family, our society has told us about intimacy, our own experiences. And then again, we could even have some behavior patterns that are pretty deeply ingrained that impact our ability to show up in a relationship and have love. And so we're just going to have a little bit of a talk about that and how some of this stuff applies to the area of love and intimacy. So if you want to join us for that, you can find the link to register. You can shoot me a message on Facebook or DM me or whatever, and I can make sure and shoot that over to you. But all right, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.